Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays for tonight's 4-game slate in the NHL. Let's get right into it. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do, highlighting the 4 games in the NHL tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. We got the Blues taking on the Bruins here tonight, Devils at Rangers, Capitals at Jets, and the New York Islanders taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And then here's a schedule update for this week, and I have an NHL DFS video coming out for you guys today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I also plan to break down the slates for Wednesday and Saturday in my Discord, which is completely free to join, and if you haven't joined that yet, there's a link to do so in the description below on this video. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that second line for the New York Rangers. We got Trocheck centering Panarin and Lafreniere. These three have a lot of familiarity together, and in fact, no other line has played more minutes together 5-on-5 than these three here, where they've combined for 76 goals, 110 assists, 186 points in 63 games this season. That does include special teams points as well, but needless to say, they've been getting on the score sheet at a very high rate, close to 3 points per game as a line. We're going to see Panarin and Trocheck play up on the Regs' #1 power play. Lafreniere plays down on the second. And even though this matchup between the Devils is always a good one, we got the rivalry there. We know that this Devils team has really struggled defensively this year, allowing 3.48 goals per game, the 7th most in the NHL. And then another line stack that I like here tonight is that second line for the Winnipeg Jets. We got Monahan centering Ehlers into Foley. Now, I want to mention here, as I make this video right now, I have not seen the official updated Jets lines, but I do believe we're going to see Toffoli play on this right wing here with Monahan and Ehlers, and we'll see Velarde back up on that first line with Scheifele and Connor. And with just 4 games here tonight, assuming this is their second line, I love the upside that they offer here, especially in tournaments, considering the talent we have on this line and their prices on DraftKings. And we're going to see all 3 of these guys play in the top 2 power play units for the Jets in some form or another. If I had to guess, we'll see Monahan for sure play up on the #1 power play. Ehlers will play down on the second. It's a mystery where Toffoli will go, but he's going to get some sort of power play time as well. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. We got about a month left here in the NHL regular season. We're about 300 subs away from 4,000. Let's try and get there before we hit the playoffs. All right, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. And the first guy that I got at the top is David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins. He is expensive tonight at $9,500, but on a small slate like this with just 4 games, Pasta offers elite upside that's really hard to ignore. In his last 10 games, he's got 5 goals, 8 assists, and 40 shots on net. This guy absolutely loves to rip the puck, averaging close to 16.5 DraftKings points per game, playing up on the first line in #1 power play, and I definitely don't mind the matchup at home tonight against St. Louis. Brock Nelson, the next guy I got there, just on a heater here as of late, and really ever since he got bumped up to that first line with Horvat and Barzal. He's got 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points, and 35 shots on net in his last 10 games, averaging close to 17 DraftKings points per game. Not bad at all for a guy priced here in the mid-6K range. He does have a tough matchup on the road here tonight against the Los Angeles Kings, and the Islanders are playing on back-to-back nights, but like I said, Nelson's got a hot stick right now, and it's hard to ignore his numbers. On the other side of that game, I like Kevin Fiala. He's been playing some great hockey here as of late, and arguably his best hockey of the season right now. He's got 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points, and 34 shots on net in his last 10 games, averaging close to 17 DraftKings points per game, playing on their second line and #1 power play. Timo Meier has absolutely found his scoring touch for the New Jersey Devils as of late. In just his last 6 games, he's racked up 7 goals, 3 assists, 24 shots on net, averaging 21.5 DraftKings points per game, basically 4x value at his current price on DraftKings, and he's currently up on that first line and #1 power play. And then in terms of true value plays here tonight, I do like Jake DeBrusk of the Boston Bruins, priced at $4,300. He's got 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points, and 24 shots on net here in his last 10 games, averaging close to 10 DraftKings points per game, playing up on the first line and #2 power play. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, and this is definitely a slate I'd be willing to spend up at this position. production overall, I'm not really in love with the value in the 3 to 4K range, and the top tier defensemen on this slate are pretty damn affordable. One guy that I would be willing to spend up for is Josh Morrissey of the Winnipeg Jets. He's got 1 goal, 15 assists, 16 points, 27 shots on net in his last 10 games, averaging close to 15 DraftKings points per game. He can be played as a one-off or stacked with the Jets forwards on that #1 power play, a defenseman who should log around 24 minutes tonight and also plays on the penalty kill. I'd also be willing to spend up for Adam Fox of the New York Rangers. He's got 2 goals, 10 assists, 21 shots on net, and 18 block shots in his last 10 games, averaging close to 14 DraftKings points per game. Just like Morrissey, he can be played as a one-off or stacked up with the forwards on the Regs #1 power play, a defenseman who should log around 23 minutes here tonight. Now, as far as value defensemen go, Matt Roy stuck out to me for the Los Angeles Kings. Not really someone I'm banking to get on the score sheet here tonight, but more so block shots. You can see there he's got 32 now over his last 10 games, averaging close to 11 DraftKings points per game. He logs around 22 minutes a night and plays big minutes on the penalty kill. And then Kevin Shattenkirk of the Boston Bruins also stuck out to me at $3,300. He's now got 5 assists here over his last 10 games, averaging 7.5 DraftKings points per game. But what more so stuck out to me is how he's been trending well here as of late, having hit 9.9 or basically double-digit DraftKings points now in 5 of his last 10 games, a defenseman who should log around 15 minutes here tonight. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you, and if I'm looking to spend up tonight, I like Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins. He's been great all year long with a 21-6-8 record, save percentage of .922, goals allowed average of 2.45, averaging 16 DraftKings points per game. He's also 6-3-1 in his last 10 games, averaging 17.5 DraftKings points per game. He also ranks 5th out of 54 qualified goaltenders and goal save above expected per 60. Needless to say, he's been one of the best goaltenders in the NHL all year long, and the Bruins are favored at home tonight against St. Louis, sitting on a money line of -230. Now, if I'm looking to save some money, Ilya Sorokin of the New York Islanders stuck out to me. His season stats aren't necessarily fantastic, but he has played well here as of late. He's actually won all of his last 5 games, going 5-0-0 with a save percentage of .921, goals allowed average of 1.98, averaging 15 DraftKings points per game. The Islanders themselves are on a 6-game winning streak. My only downfall with them is they have a tough road matchup tonight against LA, again playing on back-to-back nights. And as always, going to wrap up these DraftKings plays here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy that I got is Jack Roslovic of the New York Rangers. Recently traded over to the Regs, but up on that first line with Kreider and Zibanejad and playing on their #2 power play. And he was trending well heading into that trade with 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points in his last 10 games, averaging 12.5 DraftKings points per game. And then I got a couple of Washington Capitals there. We're going to start with LaPierre. He's playing up on that first line in #1 power play right now for the Caps. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points in his last 10. And then Sonny Milano's going to play down on their third line #2 power play, but trending well here as of late with 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 points in his last 10, averaging 9 DraftKings points per game. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 4-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.